Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it is time for episode 2 of the 2021 version of the Halloween 15. And this time out, I'll be reviewing Grotesque, which you can see right here. This is actually on a compilation of Roger Corman's cult classics called Vampires, Mummies, and Monsters. I'm not really sure why this was included on this particular set because this movie was not produced by Roger Corman, and it is also not restored to the quality of the other three movies. It's a fairly poor quality print that is included. But that said, it is from 1988, and it runs in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which made me believe that it was made for TV, but it is not. It is a rated R film and was released theatrically. And it's got kind of a weird plot. Basically, Linda Blair, who also produced, stars as Lisa Kruger, and she's the daughter of a Hollywood special effects artist. And she decides to take her friend Kathy, who is played by Donna Wilkes, to her parents' cabin to help her get over a recent breakup. And on the way there, the women run into some crazed punk rockers who seem awfully out of place in the mountains. The punk rockers, who are led by a man named Scratch, who is played by Brad Wilson, they're actually there because they were tipped off that a rich Hollywood type has a cabin nearby with a secret, and they assume that that secret is either money or drugs being stashed in the house because, you know, what Hollywood type doesn't stash drugs or money in their walls? But that rich Hollywood type is actually Lisa's father. His name is Orville Kruger. He's played by Guy Stockwell. But he definitely does not have any money or drugs stashed anywhere. But Lisa and Kathy, they elude the punks. They make it to the cabin. Kathy is introduced to Lisa's parents, and after exchanging pleasantries and a few pranks by Orville and his special effects work, they all go to bed. But then Scratch and his gang, they break in and they threaten Lisa, Kathy, and her parents about the location of the non-existent stash of money and drugs. And what they don't know is that the Kruger household does have a secret, but it is not money or drugs. It is another resident, and he's not as polite or attractive as the others in the house. In fact, he can be downright murderous when angered. On paper, Grotesque might sound like an interesting concept. Director Joe Tornatore and his screenwriter Michael Angel, they don't seem content with keeping the story within one horror subgenre. What starts as a home invasion flick morphs into a slasher movie, and then it turns into a vigilante picture by the end. And that might sound like it's a unique combination of styles, but in actuality, it's a muddled mess. A significant character just pops into the middle of things around the 60-minute mark, and he proceeds to become the focus of the movie. And that wouldn't be weird if the movie was longer than 90 minutes, but it's not. There's a half-baked recurring theme of fantasy versus reality that's littered throughout the plot, and in more capable hands that could have materialized into something coherent and meaningful. But here, though, it makes the entire movie just seem like a bad joke. Parts of Grotesque are undeniably fun. The ruthlessness and the unpredictability of the punkers makes them really scary and repugnant. It's too bad, though, that their performances are really over the top. Watching them get hunted down is satisfying, too. There's two local policemen, and they do the good cop, bad cop routine in a wholly unconvincing but hilarious manner. They actually get called out by the punk who they're trying to interrogate. But unfortunately, there aren't enough positives to outweigh the negatives on Grotesque. But fans of B-movies, B-movie schlock, or Linda Blair career completists might want to check this one out. But everyone else should either stay clear of it or brace themselves for a really odd combination of comedy, brutality, and straight-up weirdness. But that is Grotesque from 1988. And yeah, so that you can find on the Roger Corman's cult classics, Vampires, Mummies, and Monsters. You can also find it on Tubi. And if you're willing to sit yourself through it, I gave it a 4 out of 10. Thanks for watching this episode of the Halloween 15. Stay tuned for the next episode, episode 3, which will be Revolt of the Zombies from 1936. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.